Okay, I call this meeting to order. Ms. Mazzoni, please call roll. Or I'm sorry, Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Here.
Councilman Register?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. Please stand for the invocation by Pastor Raymond Duval. Is he here?
Not here.
Okay, I will do the invocation. Dear Lord, thank you for all the many gifts you have given us. Lord, we ask for your guidance as we seek to do your will. Please watch over everyone in town, all the visitors, all the residents, all the business owners. Please give us a safe summer week. Particularly protect people from any challenges in the Gulf. And through Christ our Lord. Amen.
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 All right. Vice Mayor?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We now move on to the community announcements. So first, there is a Parks and Rec mural in the City Hall lobby, paint by numbers for the community. This is part of the city's America 250 celebration. So come into the lobby Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It'll be in the lobby today, and then in the community center at the Frank Brown Community Center Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So please come, members of the community, participate in this art project, and it will be displayed during July 4th. This Thursday, or today through the 31st, is Gulf Coast Jam at Frank Brown Park. On Saturday, May 30th, is Jam on the Coast 5K, also at Frank Brown Park. And starting in June, we have our summer concert series. The first one is Thursday, June 4th. That will be Jay and the Causeways, which is soul, funk, and R&B, and that starts at 6, right? 6?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep. Starts at 6. Come on out, it's a great time. The next week is our second edition of the summer concert series, Thursday, June 11th. That is Goodbye to Sunshine, which is bluegrass. So, bring your straw hats. That is also at Aaron Besson Park. And then our next meeting is Thursday, June 11th, here at 5 p.m. That is an evening meeting. And that is it for the announcements. We now move on to the approval of the meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Yes.
Councilman Register?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. We move on to the approval of the agenda and additions or deletions. Mr. Whitman.
Yes, sir. Under presentations, I'd like to delete or remove employees' years of service. Jeff was unable to attend this morning.
Okay, so item G2 will be removed if we have a motion that passes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve as amended. Mr. Jarman, motion to approve as amended?
As amended.
As amended, okay.
Second.
We have a motion to approve as amended and a second. Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Yes.
Councilman Register?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. We now move on to public comment on the consent agenda and non-agenda business. If you have a comment on the consent agenda or non-agenda business. Oh, presentation. I'm so sorry. I just got, we just modified them. I'm sorry. All right, we have presentations.
All right.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
No problem.
Keeping us straight.
Takes a team.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Captain Stentz for coming here this morning to accept this appreciation. If you would come up here, sir. A proclamation designating May 2026 as Military Appreciation Month. Whereas Military Appreciation Month was designated by Congress as a national observance of honor, remembrance, and support active duty service members, veterans, National Guard, and Reserve units, and their families. The month of May includes more military-related observances than any other month of the year and provides communities across the nation an opportunity to recognize the courage, sacrifice, and dedication of those who serve in the United States Armed Forces. Military Appreciation Month encourages citizens to express gratitude through ceremonies, educational programs, and community events that highlight the lasting impact of military service, freedom, and security. The City Council of the City of Panama City Beach is proud to recognize and thank the men and women of the armed forces for their unwavering commitment to protecting our nation and preserving the liberties enjoyed by all Americans. Therefore, the City Council of the City of Panama City Beach recognizes the month of May 2026 as Military Appreciation Month and encourages all citizens to honor and support our military personnel, veterans, and military families for their service and sacrifice for our nation. Captain Stentz, the City Council of the City of Panama City Beach hereunto set our hands in cause of this seal of the City of Panama City Beach for Military Appreciation Month, May 2026, and thank you for being here to accept this.
So, Mayor, City Council members, and citizens of Panama City Beach. So thank you for this recognition. Thank you for inviting me, and it is my honor to be here on behalf of Naval Surface Warfare Center, Panama City Division, as we formally recognize May as the Military Appreciation Month. And so one of the things that's really important about Panama City Beach is the relationship that the military has with the community and the steadfast support that we see every single day from the community to us. And we really appreciate that. It's vital to our national security mission, and we could not do what we do without that support. The Panhandle is unique, especially when it comes to our military veterans, to our service members, and to our civilian team members, because it's not just a place it's not just a duty station, it's not just a place of work, it is home. And all of the vibrant community, the steadfast support is something that provides a lot of peace of mind when we send our warfighters overseas and when our scientists and engineers are working long hours to support the warfighters and make sure that they have the equipment and the support they need. So on behalf of Naval Surface Warfare Center, Panama City Division, thank you for all of your support, thank you for your hospitality, and thank you for this special recognition this month.
Good job. Now, second presentation is a department update by Chief Ray Morgan, Fire Department update. Chief?
Mayor and council, thanks for the opportunity to go over our department. Over the next hour, we'll do a deep dive into our department. Just kidding. We're going to do a high-level overview of where we're at in the department and all the things we have going on. Thank you for the time. At the heart of what we do is public safety, right? We're here to save lives and save property. And we accomplish this in beach safety through beach safety, fire inspections, and our fire and rescue line. We're divided up into these three divisions. So to help break that out, we'll show you here our flow chart. We currently have 88 members under the fire department umbrella. 55 of those are in the Fire and Rescue Division that we divide up into 3 shifts, A, B, and C. We call those battalions. So those shifts work a 48-96 rotation, meaning they're on duty for 48 hours and they're off for 96. So in the command of each of those shifts, we have a battalion chief followed by a captain, 2 lieutenants, and then a mix of firefighter EMTs and firefighter medics. I'm happy to report that we have 3 open positions in the Fire and Rescue Division. We just closed that requisition, and we've had over 70 applicants that want to come work for our department and for this city. So we'll be going into interviews soon. Our next division, beach safety. So, when I started here, we only had 5 members in beach safety. With your help and city administration's help, we've been able to grow that to now to over 20 full-time lifeguards, and it's really made a difference. So the organizational structure you'll see here is correct. The names and the vacancies are not, but we have grown immensely in beach safety. We have, the head of beach safety is Director Paul, and those are all now full-time positions. Over into admin, obviously we have admin chief and our assistant, and then our inspections division has also grown quite a bit. We started with 3 inspectors when I was the first chief, and now we're up to 6 inspectors with 3 full-time administrative assistants and a mix of part-time and seasonal help as well. So calls for service. In the first 4 months of the year, 1,683 calls. Now that's down for us. Those first 4 months incorporate our 2 slowest months being January and February. But March and April were down as well, and I attribute this to the great work of Panhandle City Beach PD and your help with the ordinances of spring break. We run less calls this year during spring break than we ever have. Now that puts us, if you look at the 1683 and divide that out by the rest of the year, you would think that would roughly be about 5,000 calls for service a year. Typically we run 6,500 to 7,000 calls a year, service a year. We're about to get into our busiest months. The percentages you see are accurate and pretty consistent year to year. We're showing 53% in medical right now. That'll end up being around 62% at the end of the year, which is on track what we've always done in the past. A big portion of us being front and center is our medical program. We have all of our staff are EMT trained at the basic, and then paramedics as well. So as you can see, our fire and actual rescues are a very small percentage of what we do, 3%. But anything that's low frequency for us is high risk. So our team is well trained, they're well equipped and ready for those low frequency events, just as we are as the high frequencies. Some photo shots here of our members in action. We can have all the assets in the world without people doing the job on the ground that are dedicated and trained. We don't have a good outcome. We work everything from car wrecks to fires to high angle rescue to the medicals, and it's an intense job that takes a big toll on our employees, and they're deeply committed to protecting this community. Completed projects, this was a big one for us over the last 5 years. When I first made chief, we were in stations that were not sustainable. They were not safe under hurricane conditions. They were not built for growth. And with your help and city administration's help, we've really changed the face of what our landscape looks like as far as being able to protect our firefighters that protect this community. These stations have been a game changer. So we are built now for the long haul. For the next 20 years, we have taken into effect growth and the particular weather that we see here on the coast, as well as our training tower. Our training tower has changed the face of our training operations for us. And it's not just for our own members, that's a regional asset. So far, we have been able to do joint trainings with the county, with Lynn Haven Fire Department. This next weekend, we'll be hosting Liberty County. We'll be training our own staff, certified instructors will be training all their volunteers to be compliant for state. So, and as well as PD. PD's done SWAT operations and training there as well. So a huge asset for the city and the team and this community. One of the next things we're working on is the Unified Command Bus. With your approval, we were able to go out and purchase this $1.2 million asset. And also, we were successful with our legal team and yourselves to gain half of that funding through state grants. And I got to give a big shout out to our grant coordinator, Michael Martin, for keeping this on track, keeping this funded, and keeping us moving. We're hoping to have this completed by the end of '27. This is a big asset when it comes to joint operations between ourselves and PD, given the fact of all the high-profile events we work and the potential for bad weather that we have. So, big asset. Community outreach is a big part of what we do in the fire service. We're constantly in the schools teaching, promoting, whether, everything's not the glamorous firefighting shots. Sometimes we're just on the side of the road changing the tire for somebody that needs it. As you'll see in the bottom right picture, we every year we hose down the school buses as they leave for the last day of school. If you're available today at 11 o'clock at Hutchinson Beach or Breakfast Point, we'll be doing the same thing. It's a great way to show the kids that we're there for them. That's our future protectors, our future leaders, and we always want to be a part of that. You find yourself throughout this career, you'll learn real quick that there are situations that come along that no one agency can handle. We've seen that through hurricanes, we've seen that through brush fires, and it was a mission of mine that when we started here that we would build relationships and not just be stuck in our own silo. I'm happy to report that all 12 agencies in the area we have either mutual or automatic aid agreements with. We have personal relationships with all those chiefs, and we work hand in hand, and we meet once a month to make sure we're protecting all of our communities in the best way possible. I would be remiss to say if my best partner is not there in that right-hand photo and right there in the back of the room. There's not a day goes by that I don't talk with Chief Tell to make sure that we are on the same page and we're doing everything that we can to protect this community. Chief Tell and Beach PD, thank you. Our next, Fire Inspections Division. These are our unsung heroes, the guys behind the curtain that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting that keeps our community safe. Like I said, this staff has grown tremendously. We have 6 full-time inspectors. Those inspectors are all certified firefighters. They're either EMTs, and 2 of them are even paramedics. They provide just much more than fire inspections. In the top picture, you'll see a briefing during the height of spring break. Our team was out on the grounds every day during spring break, checking occupancies, checking safety levels, working with PD to identify target hazards and prevent any unfortunate incidents. Here's a lot of things they do. Obviously, short-term rentals has been the forefront of a lot of discussion, but we do just a lot more than that. Yes, we do around 10,000 of those inspections annually, but we also do development orders, over 500 annual life safety inspections for businesses, 1,000 beachside fire permits. We work roughly 75 special events, and that includes permit and inspections to being out there on scene throughout the event. We're out there on the big one right now. We review over 215 fire alarm construction permits, do around 40 hydrant flow tests, pre-licensed inspections. It's a lot. We also have drone pilots during the special events, and then during spring break, we flew multiple drone missions to assist PD with overwatch and crowd control. Every weekend we were out there. Our director, Captain Legliner, he's also provides the ability for us to have a safety officer on large fires or big special events. Like I said, they're all either trained to the medical EMT level or paramedic, and each vehicle is outfitted with medical bags and AEDs. They're out there front and center. They do medical response for us as well. A lot of times they're first on scene. And then fire prevention is a big point too. You'll see a lot of change in that. We roll fire prevention under fire inspections. We're going to bring back our open house annually, and you'll see a lot of good things to come with that. Finally, our beach safety vision. It's front and center for us. We're in the peak of the season. I'm happy to report that with your help and city administration's help, we've been able to get their headquarters out from under the pier and into an actual building. This building has been a huge morale boost for our beach safety team. They have a place now to train, hold meetings, conduct their reports, store their equipment, and have their PM and have a home base. And it's really important to have that for them. So a few stats on the first 4 months, only 7 rescues. That's down. But again, we're not talking about peak season. So, 32 public assist. Now those are incidents where a lifeguard goes into the water and help somebody come in that was coming in on their own already, but just needs a little bit of help, not considered rescue. Preventative actions is a big one, 254,000 times. Those lifeguards make a log every day of every contact they make when they teach somebody about a flag, show somebody about a RIP, move somebody to a safer location. So big interaction with us. Unfortunately, as you know, we have suffered 2 drownings already this year. Those drownings came on red flag days. I can't tell you how important it is to watch those flag conditions. Our team is a USLA accredited agency. They go through rigorous training and all that data collection to make sure we maintain that. These are some of the disciplines they do. Obviously, surf rescue, medical response, they're all EMT, and we have 2 paramedics on the team as well. A big thing that our team loves to do is wildlife rescue. You see it with the sea turtles and the pelicans. We work with multiple agencies at FWC. Underwater pier cleanup is an important part that we help Parks and Rec with. We do that twice a year, and that's coming up on the 10th. If you would like to see just how much trash and debris is collected from under that pier, come out and take a look that morning. It's quite impressive. They also assist us with citywide CPR instruction. We have several CPR instructors. They help us with special event staffing, obviously mutual aid response, and junior lifeguard program is a big one for us as well. So as I talked about flag notifications. So every day, one of the things they do is they go out, they test the RIPS, they test the water, they talk with NOAA, they set the flag condition and work with the county to make sure we have the appropriate flags flying to judge the risk that is presented that day. Every day, they contact us through a beach safety admin text and city PIO, and we put the flag conditions out over these different media sources to make sure the public is aware. Red flags are our most dangerous. Usually when it's double red, it's obvious not to go in the water. It's bad. Single reds, people come down, they think they can still manage it. We lose more people on single red flag days than any other flag condition. Please heed these warnings. Knee deep is too deep on red flag days. Sign up for these flag alerts. I can tell you this is the way you'll know, no matter where you're at, what that flag condition is going to be. Please sign up for those. In closing, June 1st is hurricane season. We all know it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Don't look just at the forecast of what is calling for the hurricane season. Be ready. We have multiple means and multiple avenues to make sure your home is prepared and you are prepared and your family is prepared to tackle this season. We will be set up next weekend at FSU and combined with the Bay County Chamber for a Hurricane Preparedness Expo. If you have any questions of what you need to do, if you're new to the area or if you've been here a long time and want to know the information on how to keep you and your family safe during a hurricane, please attend. We will have multiple resources available for you. As always, I'm happy to be your chief. I'm happy to protect this community. I've been doing it now for 24 years. I hope to do it for a few more. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Chief, I have one, and great presentation.
Yes,
And beach safety has been one of my priorities since I've been up here.
Yes, sir, it does.
And I'm pleased to see how much progress we've made, and I think we've made huge progress in that, and I don't think we'll ever eliminate all the drownings, but we certainly have put a big dent in it. But and I'm glad that you finally got a building to staff your people in. But one thing that, and I think we talked about this before, and you have 2 public beaches at both piers, the county pier and the city pier, and have lifeguard stands there. And this is just a suggestion, and I'm not for spending a bunch of money on it, but I think for Walton Beach, on their pier several years ago, they put one of their lifeguard stands out on the pier where I think our pier is 18 feet above sea level to start with, and it rises up, I don't know, 6 more feet when you get to the end. But if we could get some grant money to put a lifeguard station on that pier with the technology I saw at the command center with the police department, with these cameras, put one of these stations on each pier and put a lifeguard in there, man, you could cover almost the whole beach. That's just a thought. I don't know if we could, if there's any grant money available to do that, but I've went over there and looked at that, and it's way up in the air, out on little ways out on the pier where you can cover. You could cover back to the east from the county pier, and in between the county pier and the city pier, and then west of the city pier. I just think that you would have a bird's eye view if you had some lifeguards up in the air there, especially on double red flag days where you see somebody going in the water, man, they could zoom right in and tell exactly where they were at. It's just a thought.
Yes, sir. No, I appreciate that. And we looked at that with you early on in my tenure here, and at the time, staffing was more limited. That's something that we can definitely look at again. I know the future is changing when it comes to surf rescue. AI is making some advancements, especially with the cameras and technology, to identify people in distress earlier. So we're definitely going to be looking into what's available for us.
Great job.
Yep.
Excellent.
All right. Well, Chief, thank you for your presentation, and thank you to you and your staff, whether it's medical calls, fire calls, or public service. You guys do great work.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Now, public comment. I was just so excited. Public comment for the consent and non-agenda business. Please come up, state your name. Please keep it to city business, address myself or the council as a whole, and you will have 3 minutes. Any public comment on consent or non-agenda business?
Good morning, mayors and city council. It's a pleasure to be here. Before I get started on what I came for with listening to the
Could you state your name, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. Ray Valverde, Bay Limousine, Ambassador for the Panama City Chamber of Commerce. One of the things I think, because I deal with a lot of tourists, that when someone checks into the hotels, I think we need to impress upon these hotels about the flag warnings. I think it starts right at the beginning. These people are coming from places that don't have the sort of conditions we have here, and if we could maybe look at maybe instructing the hotels to have their staff go over what the flags really mean, that might help prevent future problems. Just a thought as I was listening. And the other thing that could be maybe on the piers are drones, having drones monitor as well by Central Command. Just a thought. Okay, my idea of the fountain on the roundabout, I'm just going to kind of get an update as to how the city feels about it. I think it would be a beautiful thing to have. We have a beautiful city to begin with. New buildings, new almost everywhere you go along the beach area. But we need to have something more than just beautiful buildings. We have to have a presentation to the tourists that come in here that is a lasting impression. I think that if we're going to beautify the city, that would be a way of presenting a good initial view of what we're all about here. I'll be picking up 12 people here in an hour, and a lot of times I drive around that roundabout, and it's something that I point out when I have various points of interest, and it would be definitely fun for me to be able to point that what that fountain is all about as I bring people into our area to give them a good feeling about our city. I am an ambassador for the city. I love the city. I love where you're going with it. So I think it's important that we continue with the idea of the fountain. And by the way, I did notice on the roundabout just to the east, there's 4 or 5 dead palm trees. That's not a good look. Whoever the landscaper was should get those replaced. But other than that, if you could just tell me how you all feel about the fountain. I think it's important that we have some beautiful. I don't really want to see a statue. Something that's lasting would be something visual that, is impressive. We need to impress. And I know there's always maintenance issues, but there are ways of now, with the technology, I can get with each of you that what Kansas City has done with the city of Fountains there. We can be the city of the South of Fountains, and I think that would be a good image to present to our tourists. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Valdry. Further public comment on the consent or non-agenda business?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody knows me as Alfie. I'm Alfredo Martin. I live on Oleander Drive, Panama City Beach. First of all, I want to thank Mayor, council people, city manager, legal, chief, fire department for the art thing we did a few weeks ago. We're going to do more. We try to encourage the city and you to do more things, and also it's our duty to extend our possibilities to make the job easier. Okay. Having said that, we need also to correct a few things. I travel a lot, and one thing that I see again, we have the problem with Front Beach Road. We know it's nothing you can do about the traffic. The cars are there, but there are things that we can do. The level of noise, speed exhibition, music, that's not good for the tourists. Most of the tourists will not make a report. They will not call the police. They're not going to call you, but they're going to call us. From Beach Road, especially between Clara and Nautilus, and or between Clara and Lantana, it's impossible. We are bound to have an accident on Palm Beach Road. There are no pedestrian zones. I have offered artists to paint the street for free, and I'm not trying to be facetious. I know you have a lot of things to do, but please, one day we're going to have a big problem there, and we need to enforce the noise and the speed, not only the cars, in the motorcycles, but also in the establishments. You passed strict laws a few months or a year ago, about 25 feet or 50 feet, I don't know how many feet, but basically the sound travels 300 or 400 or 500 feet away. If you measure that, it will be at 75, about 400, 500 feet away. So if you are about 25 feet or 50 feet, it's unbearable. You have a family with 3 children trying to cross Front Beach Road or staying on Oleander Drive or in Margaritaville, and they hear that noise, I guarantee you those people are not coming back. I brought in the last few years about, I would say, 7 to 8 media people to visit me, not to criticize or write anything. Everybody loves this city, but they also tell me the same thing. I'd rather go on the east side than coming here because the noise and the traffic and the enforcement is impossible. So thank you so much, and thank you for your work, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Further public comment on the consent or non-agenda business? Okay. Seeing none, Mr. Whitman.
Yes, just in reference to Ray's comments, the hotels are required to put up flag warning signs. All the short-term rentals, condos, hotels have the flag system in each room. Most of the front lobbies have it on their front desk. And I know staff at all the motels do a great job at posting at the beach entrances with this sign system. So that's already been established. We are looking at the future of AI for drones and everything else, like Chief Ray was saying about lifeguards to help that system out. Segment 3 roundabout, we talked about that in this before. We have our bids ready to go out. We're just waiting for some data that was going to come back from TDC to see what they were going to fund, and we're going to talk about it in our budget workshop to see what the city's going to fund, and then we can put that on the street to see what they recommend for that area so you guys have a selection of what you want in your roundabout in segment 3. The palm trees on the east side, we're well aware they died, and we're working with the contractor to get those replaced. It's just working through that system to get them removed and new ones up, so we're aware of that. As far as Elfie's comments, we can't put art in the street. We would lose funding for any roadway projects on Front Beach Road. That's why we did away with the art on segment 2 down, which is from Richard Jackson to Walmart. So we can't put art in our roadway or sidewalks. In enforcement, I've been working with Chief Tao. We've had a couple of conversations. He's trying to hit those areas the best he can for the loud music, the pedestrian crossings, and everything else.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Whitman. Any comments from the council? Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda. Ms. Lawyer.
Resolution number 26-113, a resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, approving a multi-year agreement with Carpet Care Specialist for floor cleaning and maintenance services for citywide facilities in an amount not to exceed $110,000 for fiscal year 2026. Resolution 26-114, a resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, supporting the adoption of Vision Zero and Target Zero strategies and goals, endorsing the safe system approach to transportation safety and aligning with the Bay County Safety Action Plan. Resolution number 26-115, a resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, approving the purchase of right-of-way for Front Beach Road Segment 4.3 from Edgewater Beach Resort, LLC, in the total amount of $269,265.40. And lastly, number 5, revision of the master audit list to remove obsolete items. Number 4, resolution number 26-116, a resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, authorizing an expenditure of $48,030 for floodplain management software with Forerunner Industries, Inc. for the Building and Planning and Public Works Departments.
And then we got the revision of the master audit list.
Number 5, revision of master audit list to remove obsolete items.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Yes.
Councilman Register?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. We now move on to the regular agenda. Regular agenda item number 1 is amended ordinance number 1681. Mr. Davis.
An ordinance of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, amending chapters 1 and 5 of the Land Development Code to establish regulations for restaurant accessory portable units, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, scrivener's errors, liberal interpretation, modifications, and codification, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. Any public comment on this item? Any public comment? Seeing none? Mr. Davis, can you help us understand this item and any changes from the first reading?
Yes, sir. So as you will recall, you had a lengthy debate about this ordinance that dealt with both restaurant portable accessory units as well as food truck courts. During that meeting, we split off food truck courts entirely into a new ordinance that has been remanded to the planning board. What remained is restaurant accessory portable units, which are essentially mobile kitchens that are designed to serve an existing food or beverage establishment. So essentially, this is a mobile kitchen that sits behind or screened from view of anyone else, but serves the existing patrons of that restaurant. We have applied, essentially reasonable land development regulations regarding the placement and use of those restaurant accessory portable units. The only substantive change that we have made to this ordinance is we have strengthened the requirement for potable water and wastewater connections for those mobile kitchens if they are going to be in continuous use. We have made exceptions for if they're going to be moving, if they're temporary, things like that. But if they are going to be there continuously, which we consider to be more than 7 and 30 days, then they will need to have actual connections to water and wastewater instead of operating on a tank or something like that.
Okay. All right. Any questions or discussion from the council?
Motion to approve.
Second. Thank you, Mr. Davis. We have a motion and a second to approve. Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Yes.
Councilman Register?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. We now move on to regular agenda item number 2, ordinance 1682. Mr. Davis.
An ordinance of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, amending Section 2-202 of the city's Code of Ordinances, clarifying compensation for service on non-advisory boards, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, scrivener's errors, liberal interpretation, modification, codification, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. Any public comment on ordinance 1682? Any public comment? Seeing none, Mr. Davis.
Yes, sir. So this is a housekeeping ordinance. Just to clarify, in the summer, we try to bring you all the housekeeping ordinances so we can catch up. This ordinance in particular deals with, your code already allows for non-advisory board members to be paid $10 per meeting for their service. It did not specify if any additional compensation was to be paid for current employees who serve on those non-advisory boards, which only applies to the pension board. There are current employees that serve on the city's pension boards. When they are acting in service on those boards, in those meetings, they are on the clock, they are being paid. So all this ordinance does, it is one sentence that simply exempts the current employees from that $10 stipend because they're already being paid for their service through their employment. Housekeeping.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn.
Yes.
Councilman Register.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer.
Yes, ma'am. We now move on to regular agenda item number 3, ordinance 1683. Mr. Davis.
An ordinance of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 19, Article 8 of the city's Code of Ordinances relating to right-of-way permitting and permittee obligations, creating phasing requirements for large right-of-way projects, creating Section 19166 related to damage of city facilities, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, scrivener's errors, liberal interpretation, modifications, codification, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, any public comment on this item? Any public comment on ordinance 1683? Seeing none? Mr. Davis, help us understand what's going on. This is a decent change on this one.
Yes, sir. This is, so if you will recall, for about probably over a year, we have been dealing with a rash of what I would call a plague of line strikes on the city's utility infrastructure by contractors who are working in the right-of-way, installing their own facilities in the right-of-way, which we are required to allow them to do, subject to our regulations. We took two approaches to that. One was aggressively going after those contractors who were damaging our property, and then secondly, taking a deep dive into our regulatory scheme as to how we deal with right-of-way permits, right-of-way permittee obligations, how we recover our damages and things like that. So that is what we have finally brought to you back, and we're pretty happy with it. So the first thing that we do is we deal with large projects. We require them to be phased out, so they can only go in a half mile at a time. So when they are coming to the city to get their permits, to call in their locates for where the other right-of-ways are, all those things, that has to be a half mile at a time, which helps and decrease the burden on staff, makes us accurate, makes sure that we're all doing the work. There are exemptions for projects that we believe can actually go bigger than that, but we typically have contractors that may call in much greater distances, even though they're not going to actually be able to get that work done.
And so if they call in a large distance, we're obliged to locate, and if we
Correct.
don't locate, then they're not liable for anything they strike.
Well, it shifts the burden, so if they call locates in and we are unable to meet the statutory deadline to make those locates and report those locates back to them, then if there is any damage, we have to prove that they were negligent. If we do call the locates in on time, it's basically strict liability. If they damage it, it's on them. And so that burden shift creates a big problem on our end because oftentimes there's not a lot of witnesses as to what happened in these line strikes. And so this reduces the risk of us having that problem and increases our chances of recovering our damages.
Okay.
Another big thing that we're doing is we are putting in protections for our roads that have been recently built or resurfaced. So any road that's been built, resurfaced within the last 5 years cannot be cut on for the purposes of right-of-way installation. They have to underground drill or bore or do some other way where they don't have to actually cut into the road. And so that is a huge help for us. We also tightened the restrictions for the repair of those roads. They have to do it within 14 days now, and they have to warranty that work for a year. We're still, the issue that we have there is that, CRA Segment 3, if you get a right-of-way contractor that cuts into that road, it is almost impossible from what we've seen to be able to actually match the original construction. And so a brand-new road already has blemishes on it right after it's built. So we're trying to reduce or eliminate those problems to keep our streets that you have invested so much in pretty. Another thing we're doing, we've created a new section 19166 that provides a mechanism for us to recover all of our costs related to any damages caused to our facilities or to our property by contractors working in the right of way. So that will help us tremendously to recover additional costs and to have mechanisms there. We have preserved our existing CRA design standards to make sure that right-of-way work on the south side of the road in CRA matches our design standards, our utility poles, our light poles, all of those things. And we've otherwise taken a deep dive into making sure that we are complying with all of the various state laws that govern all of this. This is a heavily preempted field for us, and so it's a bit of a minefield to make sure that we are dodging all of the ways that we can get in trouble by regulating these issues. I will tell you, I've been in conversations with representatives of the various large utility providers, the FPLs, the AT&Ts, to get their feedback on this ordinance, and I've got a few. We will probably be making some immaterial changes. The feedback has been largely positive, but they do have some concerns that we'll probably bring back to you at second reading.
Does this ordinance include the state and the county right-of-ways if we have our utilities in that state and county right-of-way, or is it just the city right-of-ways?
It's just the city right-of-way, so our jurisdictional issue.
So we have, this won't apply on like the widening of the Back Beach Road, for example?
So, well, it depends on the segments. I mean, if they are within our jurisdiction, potentially, that works. Now, we continue to work through how to deal with that. One tool that we have is that our franchise agreement with the county specifically states that our utility ordinances apply throughout our franchise area, so we are using that to our benefit when we need to deal with utility issues. But we do have some jurisdictional challenges with whose right-of-way it is and who's, obviously, because we don't permit the right-of-way drilling on a state right-of-way. That goes to the DOT. So we do have some jurisdictional challenges that we're trying to work with the county and DOT to get their cooperation, but we only control our jurisdiction.
Got it.
And help me understand the bonding people who are doing right-of-way drilling have to do. I know it's not addressed in this, but how do we go after them for damages?
So we previously required a bond for the work. And as far as the right-of-way permitting, already required, and we have been requiring that bond to be given to the city. However, we didn't have really a mechanism to draw upon that bond for damages, and so that's what this new 19166 does. Is it expressly provides our ability to draw upon that bond for damages to our property and to our utilities.
Okay, yeah, and so, I mean, the goal here is don't cause line strikes, but if you are, we're gonna collect the extent to the damage we have.
Correct. So what we'll do is we'll make an assessment. We'll issue that assessment of damages in the city manager's name. That will be sent to the contractor and also to the surety on the bond, and say, here's the bill. We expect you to pay this from the bond. And if you don't, obviously we'll take the action we need to take.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Anything else from council? Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Yes.
Councilman Register?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. We now move on to regular agenda item number 4, Resolution 26117. Mr. Davis.
A resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, accepting certain sewer facilities from Kaleo Home Base LLC, and in consideration thereof, authorizing execution and delivery of a revenue certificate in an amount not to exceed $295,993.84, payable solely from 25% of impact fees collected by the City of Panama City Beach for sewer utility connections made to those same certain facilities, all as more particularly described in the body of this resolution, and providing for an immediately effective date.
Okay. Any public comment on this item? Okay. Seeing none. Mr. Scoth? I should say Assistant Director Scroth. Could you help us understand what's going on here?
You bet. Good morning. Ken Schroth, Assistant Utility Director. So this project is the Kaleo Home Base apartment complex that was built off of Memorial Circle, which is way on the north end of 79, just on the west side near the intercoastal. In order to build the apartment complex, they had to put in 2,200 feet of sanitary force main to get to our sewer on 79. That force main was sized appropriately to be able to serve anything that develops adjacent to that 2,200 feet. And so this revenue certificate provides an avenue for that developer to receive 25% of the impact fees collected at each of those developments adjacent to that force main. We worked with the legal department to make sure that the revenue certificate followed the long-standing program that the city council established.
Okay, so if someone has to add capacity, they have an opportunity to recoup some of that money from impact fees from the developers that connect to that line.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Yes.
Councilman Register?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. We now move on to Resolution 26-118. Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir. And so what we've done in the past and what I would ask you to do today is, before I read all the titles, we would do one combined public hearing on all three of your assessments. These are all of your non-ad valorem assessments for fire, stormwater, and CRA. Your special counsel on those matters, Mark Lawson, is here to present to you and to answer any questions. But in order to give the public kind of one chance to talk about all three and have the council have one discussion, have one combined public hearing, get any feedback you want, hear from Mr. Lawson, and then we can go one by one on each one. Does that sound good?
Okay. Yes, that sounds good. So
About a 5-minute break, maybe?
you want a 5-minute break?
If possible.
Yep, okay. We'll be back here at, let's say, 9:58. I call recess for about 6 minutes. And open up a public hearing for all three.
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah. All right, so we open up a public hearing for the annual fire assessment, that's resolution 26-118, the annual stormwater assessment, 26-119, and the annual CRA assessment, 26-120. Okay. And then,
If you want, if we could have Mr. Lawson probably come up and introduce the items.
let's take comment first.
Okay, whatever you
Yeah.
wanna do.
Any public comment on resolutions 26-118, 26-119, or 26-120? Those are the three city non-ad valorem assessments. Any public comment? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Lawson, could you help us just walk through the assessment process briefly and what we're looking at for each of these assessments?
Should be quite simple. I would like to begin by introducing myself, Mark G. Lawson. I'm with Mark G. Lawson, PA. I'm just one of a team of people that actually help your city do this. It includes ZNet LLC, Aaron Pomeroy, DTA Finance, and Dr. Owen Beich. Each one plays a separate role. I'm the outward face for legal reasons. I've worked with you all for well over 20 years, and for the assessments for well over 10 years doing this type of work. Another housekeeping item, Ms. Fazzoni wanted me to mention that you also asked for public comment by email and other means, and you've received no public comment this year in that regard. That's not unusual in ensuing years of assessments because the community becomes sensitized to what's going on, and they've learned. I also would tell you that from the standpoint of the Florida Supreme Court, as recently as last December, it has said that whenever a community engages in a validation of the authority of what it does, that those validations are forever, or excuse me, that those validations cover all matters in connection therewith and are forever conclusive. And you have 3 judgments, one for each of the assessments. That puts you on good, solid legal ground.
Yeah.
So having said that, I've completed making the record for you that you've received comment. And then I would recommend at some point that before you deliberate, you close the public hearing because it's time now for you all to make those decisions. Do you want to do that now, Mayor, or?
Well, help us understand the way the fire assessment is assessed.
Oh, sure. They all have commonality. The fire assessment and stormwater are substantially similar. It's a 2-tiered approach. One is based upon obtaining records that are certified to the Department of Revenue that provide the just value of all of your assessable tax parcels. And it also provides an excellent articulation of the number of assessable tax parcels. The assessment's combined of 2 components. One is the just value, which is the property appraiser's responsibility every year to certify and determine of the property, minus land value, which is also an obligation of the local property appraiser. So all you do is use standardized data to subtract one data point from the other and then apply a rate per thousand. That's the one tier. The next tier is per assessable tax parcel, and you apply to that a amount per parcel. And as Dr. Beich has said repeatedly, it matters not the physical shape or condition or use of the property, it's the fact that that property exists within your community and sops up, if you will, fixed costs in these 2 programs. That's how both fire and stormwater are developed. The CRA is a little bit more complex because there was a lot of work to strive to be fair. It has several items that relate to relative improvement value, air-conditioned value, and even land value. But that was done to be more representative of what you're underwriting there, and that is only within the city that is encompassed by the Front Beach Road Community Redevelopment Area do you collect the assessment. And that is a vestige of a redevelopment plan that's also been validated twice and is forever conclusive, that says that you will work to help participate in the funding using assessments. The real obvious funding, of course, is the transfer of the tax increment revenues on which you are undertaking a gigantic change in your community. Real quickly, the reason for that is no one ever planned your community. The legislature dumped 5 cities together in 1970 whatever at the end of the session and said there will be a surviving city called Panama City Beach. So what you have is your history to deal with, and that is you have gorgeous beaches. And so you had gorgeous beaches and economic activity long before you had planning on how to deal with transportation and things of that nature.
Okay.
Enough said there.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Lawson.
Anything else?
Yeah, so just to be clear about, so there's 2 tiers for fire and stormwater. 1 tier is a per parcel charge, but the other tier takes into account the just value, so that's just the appraised value. And then we subtract out the land value. So it's not, these assessments, other than the per parcel charge, do not consider the land value at all. Even the per parcel charges is a fixed charge.
That's right. As a matter of fact, the land value has nothing to do with those. Right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And in the item memo, I saw you had 3 proposals, current, a 4% increase, which is what was advertised, and a 2% increase. And I noticed that if we do no change for fire, stormwater, and I believe CRA, there is a decrease in funding available from these assessments. Can you help me understand why
Well,
that is?
what happens occasionally in the world of appraisal, which is done by a third party, as I mentioned earlier, the property appraiser, is they will identify circumstances where from year to year values go down. Now, value could go down for a lot of different reasons. We don't care. We look at each parcel's value. But overall, you had a valuation decrease in the tax base of your city. And like I said, that occurs from time to time. There's a lot of reasons they may have adjusted the approaches they take, et cetera. But the key is, what you rely upon is standardized data, the very best job the property appraiser can do, and it's subject to the value adjustment process as well. So again, by stepping aside and allowing someone else to do that value, what you have is a pure approach that equitably shares the cost of assessments. Let me quickly state on the record, assessments are not taxes. They're not uniformly applied like taxes are, and they don't go to the moon. Assessments are different. They have to be fair and reasoned, and they must be proportionate and not arbitrary, and that is why your community has 3 final judgments where a court has said, based upon competent substantial evidence, what Dr. Veitch helped you with and what you adopted, you have a fair and reasoned apportionment method.
Yeah, so on that point, the assessments for fire, stormwater, and CRA, there's limitations on what they can be used for.
Absolutely.
So fire, I noticed in here that even the advanced life safety funding that we do for the fire department, that can't be included.
We call that out because there's case law that says emergency medical services help people and not property. I will tell you there's a different viewpoint, and that ruling by the Supreme Court is probably dated, but why argue with them?
Yeah, and so similarly for beach safety is also not included in that. So we can only use it for fire purposes.
And by the way, it's not fire purposes, it's the continual readiness. There are assessment programs out there that would have you charge by random emergency call. I could turn around and look at the chief and say, is your duty to do just the random emergency calls? And he will say, no, it's not. It's to be constantly ready, and it's very hard to assess for a rate, if you will, for a random emergency call. You don't do that.
Yep. And then for stormwater, similarly, that can only be used for stormwater mitigation.
That's correct.
Yep. And Mr. Whitman, is that the, what else goes into stormwater funding? Or is that the only funding we use for stormwater?
This is what we use as our stormwater assessment to fund our stormwater department.
Okay, so stormwater is entirely funded by the stormwater assessment. Okay. Any questions?
By the way,
from
that
the
is a
council?
national NPDES obligation under the federal government, and that controls whether you get funding for other purposes as well.
Yeah, oh, yeah, thank you, Mr. Lawson. So how do you guys want to do this? You want to just go through them one by one?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so for fire, Mr. Lawson, do you have the breakdown of the, I mean, we can do any options up to the max.
That is your agenda, that is
Yeah.
under your control. We try to work with management as best we can to get a feel. You have the ability to index, for your edification, the index actually went over 8% this year, because we have to go back and look at that, because the federal government was shut down for so long. Getting the data out of the federal government was very hard. We had to guess. We knew it was above 7. We only demonstrated a 4%, I think a 2%, and a no increase, and that was at staff direction.
Yeah, so yeah, based on, because we do the cost of, it's not cost of living, what's the
This is
index?
called the Index of Personal Income Growth, and by the way, it's validated also, and it uses the same methodology the legislature uses for independent fire control districts to create an index so that you can know from year to year how much you could slightly go up without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars in unusual notices to do that.
Okay. And so we noticed it at 4, so that's the max, and that is up to this council to decide. Does someone have the funding difference for the 3 options?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson.
For the fire department, if you stay at 0, you would be decreasing the budget by $114,241. If you do a 2% increase, you would increase their budget by $65,771. And if you go to the max at 4% that we advertise at, it would increase their budget to $174,786.
Okay.
Mayor, may I?
Yeah.
If you could go ahead and close the public hearing, and then I'll read the, if you want to move on to deliberating on each assessment,
Yep.
I'll read the titles, and then you guys can deliberate, vote, and then we'll move to the next one. Does that sound
Sounds good. All right.
Thank you.
Any further questions with Mr. Lawson? during
I
the
will
public
stand and be quiet, or I will sit and be quiet. You tell me what you'd like me to do.
I think go ahead and sit down.
Thank you.
And we'll call
Thank
you
you.
back up if we have any questions. Thank you, Mr. Lawson. All right, I close the public hearing at this time.
Go ahead with fire.
Let's go to the fire.
Resolution 26-118, a resolution of the City Council of Panama City Beach, Florida, relating to the availability and funding of fire protection and related essential services, facilities, and programs within the city, providing for the imposition of special assessments within the city to fund, in part, the services, facilities, and programs associated with the continual readiness to provide fire protection, identifying benefits, burdens, and costs to be assessed, establishing the method of apportioning benefits, burdens, and costs among specially benefited property, adopting an assessment role, providing the method of collection, providing for associated authorizations and direction, including additional notice under Section 200.069 Florida statutes, and ongoing work order direction, and providing an effective date.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis. And we did all public comment during the hearing, or did we do it, also do it?
Yes,
Okay.
that was your public hearing.
Okay, that was a public hearing, so there's no, all comment was available at the public hearing. So now
It's
we'll
all
just
us now.
move on to council discussion. For fire, I'm amenable just to keep it as it is.
Yeah, no increase.
No increase?
No increase.
Yeah, I mean, families are already dealing with rising costs, utilities, housing expenses, inflation. Obviously, as evident by all the new buildings and support we put behind the fire department already around. Now, one thing I would be, we're cutting their budget by how much?
$114,000.
$114,000. The only thing I'd be amenable to do is get that back to a 0, so a zero-sum game. But if you guys are all at 0, then that's where I would be.
Yeah, I'm fine with 0 on this one. Okay,
I'm good.
all right, so.
One motion or 3?
We have to do, well, this is fire.
Right.
So what I would ask for is a motion to approve the resolution and directing staff to prepare it with no increase over last year's rate.
Motion to approve the resolution directing staff to prepare at a 0% increase.
Okay, all right.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve and direct staff. Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Yes.
Councilman Register?
Yes.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. We now move on to regular agenda item number 6, resolution 26-119. Mr. Davis.
A resolution of the City Council of Panama City Beach, Florida, relating to the availability and funding of stormwater management and related capital services, facilities, and programs, including capital infrastructure and equipment within the city, providing for the imposition of special assessments within the city to fund, in part, the services, facilities, and programs associated with the continual readiness and maintenance of stormwater management services, facilities, and programs, identifying benefits, burdens, and costs to be assessed, establishing the method of apportioning benefits, burdens, and costs among specially benefited property, adopting an assessment role, providing the method of collection, providing for associated authorizations and direction, including additional notice under Section 200.069 Florida statutes, and ongoing work order direction, and providing an effective date.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis. And so, Mr. Whitman, what's the change in revenue for the?
As Mr. Larson said, with the property appraisals going down, if we stayed at a 0% increase, it would be a negative impact to our budget of $74,763. If you went with a 2% increase, it would increase their budget by $24,437. And if you went to the max that we advertised at 4%, it would be an increase to the budget of $115,265.
Okay. Well, fire is our largest assessment, and we just, while we didn't change the rate, functionally, people are going to have a lower assessment bill for fire. This year, I mean, stormwater is essential for the area, so I'm amenable to increase the rate to by 2%, which will essentially will keep it pretty close to even. So
What
instead
was
of
the increase at 2%, I'm sorry?
2% is $24,437.
Yeah.
What, I'm sorry.
No, I think
Do we have-
construction cost and all that continues to ride, and infrastructure needs are not going to be slowing down anytime soon. There's, construction and more hard surfaces every day, and I've seen these projects, and I've seen the work Mr. Adair does right in my very neighborhood, helping neighbors that had potential flooding impacts to their homes, and I've seen the good work that goes into this, so I'm definitely amenable to an increase of 2 or 4%. I think these projects definitely are something we need to stay ahead of and will keep us from having a future burden in the long haul. I mean, construction costs are only going higher and higher and higher every year. So I think we need to maintain progress toward this, and I see it helping in our residential areas more than anywhere else.
Well, especially in our older neighborhoods where we have a lot of infill development that's caused flooding. So I do support this, but I would like to keep it down around 2%.
okay.
Do we have, I don't know if Mr. Lawson has this, but what would be the average increase per household at 2 and 4%? Do we have that information?
It's small, I have to keep around. I don't have that at my fingertips, but it is.
It's extremely small.
Cents on the rate and cents and just a few dollars on the.
I mean, this is probably,
These are all nominal incremental changes, I should.
Yes.
we've been making some great headway on stormwater.
Yeah.
And I do not want to see that steam lost. I mean, I don't think the 4% is very much in this assessment to be able to accommodate the increased cost of goods and construction for the stormwater project, to keep it at 4 or to go to 4.
I don't think existing funding is sufficient enough to address ongoing maintenance that they have, and then the scale of infrastructure growth that we've experienced over the last 10 years has been substantial. So I personally would be okay going to the max at 4% here, especially after knowing the very nominal increase.
And this money is used specifically for stormwater projects.
That's all it could be used for by law, is stormwater is projects.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
it's a
not
restricted.
absorbed anywhere in the budget?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
And I will say Mr. Adair has done a very good job of, instead of just saving this up for some of these large projects, making sure that each neighborhood is getting projects done in their neighborhood. So I think what do you call it? The stormwater neighborhood program?
He's trying to do one in each project. He's trying to fund it for $50,000 per year to try to do each little neighborhood project to help with stormwater.
Okay.
Community projects.
I think one of the other big things that we don't look at a lot of times is environmental stewardship with this as well, and how proper stormwater systems help pollutants stay out of our local waterways, which we've had problems with as well. So it's something I think it's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing that affects every resident in the city that we can stay ahead of. So I think delaying infrastructure investment only increases our future costs, guys, on this one. So I'm at the maximum increase on this.
Yeah, I'm
We
looking,
didn't used to have a stormwater assessment. I think we may be one of the only cities that have it. Maybe Lynn Haven or somebody else put one in. But we used to fund these projects out of the general fund, which, when the assessment went in, we've made huge progress on a lot of the neighborhoods, like Mary, Councilman Coburn mentioned, solved a lot of those old flooding problems. We still have some to solve, so I'm for an increase on this also. I just think I don't like taxes, and this is called an assessment, but it's a tax, but I think it's a necessary expense because everybody travels the roadways, and we just witnessed enormous rainfall. We went through a period of a drought, but then all of a sudden the roads are flooded. It's an important part of our community, so I support it.
Okay, so I will say, I'm sorry, Councilman Register, you want to speak?
Yeah, I just want to also talk about, I've seen in times that we've gone to the state or federal level to go meet with our lobbyists or local representatives, that if we have matching dollars, a lot of times that opens us up to grant. So local funding also opens us up to grant for local and.
That's a big deal.
So state and federal opportunities are opened by local matching dollars. So we want to make sure we have those dollars available if we can get bigger projects done from the state and federal departments to help us out. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that as well.
Okay. Yeah, so this would, if we went at 4%, this would still lower the overall assessment bill for everyone because the calculation formula, I mean, the numbers are different, but the formula is the same. So this, if you combine fire and stormwater, if we did go to 4%, there would still be a lower assessment bill for this next year, at least out of those two. So 4% puts it at 115, and then fire, by keeping it at 0.
is negative.
Oh, negative, no, so it'd be basically 0. It'd be just a little bit, it'd be a wash, that's right.
But I'll say, I'm looking at what I pay in taxes right now. 4% is probably like $5, $6 a year for me.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'm somewhere in the
Somewhere in the middle.
averages there. So that's,
Okay,
we're not talking a lot there.
does someone want to make,
I'll make a motion to pass the resolution and ask staff to prepare said resolution for a 4% increase.
It is already prepared as such, so this works out perfect.
Oh, okay.
Second.
There you go.
so we have a motion to approve and a second. Ms. Lawyer, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Yes.
Councilman Register?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. Moving on to the CRA assessment. Resolution 26-120.
A resolution of the City Council of Panama City Beach, Florida, relating to the provision of funding, community redevelopment-related capital services, facilities, or programs within the Front Beach Road Community Redevelopment Area, identifying benefits, burdens, and costs to be assessed, establishing the method of apportioning benefits, burdens, and costs among specially benefited property, adopting an assessment role, providing the method of collection, providing for associated authorizations and direction, including additional notice under Section 200.069 Florida statute, and ongoing work order direction, providing an effective date.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Davis. You're getting good at reading those. Those are long ones. What are the, what are we looking at the 0, 2%, and 4% here?
If you recommend 0 for the CRA, it'd be a negative impact of $17,813. If you recommend a 2% increase, it'd be $1,688. And if you do the max that we advertise at, it'd be an increase of $21,337.
I don't think it's worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even last year, with the changes in how, the negotiated with the CRA, I don't see a need to increase this at all.
Motion for the CRA assessment to stay at 0.
Second.
Mr. Davis, is that?
That's fine. We got it. Very clear.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Pizzoni, please call roll.
Vice Mayor Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coburn?
Yes.
Councilman Register?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Teddemer?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. We now move on to the city manager report. Mr. Whitman?
No report today.
No report. Okay. Now move on to the city attorney report.
No report.
Okay. And I want to thank Mr. Lawson for traveling here and for doing our assessments year after year. Make sure.
Comment, please?
Sure.
Well, I want to thank you.
Yeah, come on up.
I have work to do, and I want to make sure that I do it right, okay? Just to recap.
Yeah, this is the Mark Lawson report right now.
Yeah, sorry.
Special counsel.
Fire.
Special
Fire.
counsel report.
Fire, 0% in rate increases. Stormwater, 4% in rate increases. CRA, 0% in rate increases. Just want to make sure.
Yep.
Thank
Good.
you, and
All right.
thank you for the opportunity to serve you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lawson.
So that concludes the city attorney's report.
Concludes the city attorney report. Okay, council comments, let's just go this way. Councilmember Coburn.
Yes, just a couple of things. First, I'd like to recognize and thank the local VFW 10 Triple Nickel for hosting the Memorial Day celebration on Monday. It was a wet one, so we moved it from the park to the VFW. Also, yesterday at the Transportation Planning Organization meeting, FDOT announced that they've done the contract for Back Beach Road from R. Jackson to the bridge, and they will be starting construction in August for 1,500 days.
That's it?
And I'm sure we've all been expecting that.
Yeah, 1,500 days plus weather days.
4 years.
Yeah. And that would be all for me.
Okay, okay. Councilman registered?
No comment.
No, we have no comment on the road project or no comment in general?
Nothing good to say about it.
Nothing to say. Councilman Verkasek.
I was at the same meeting Councilman Coburn was at, and I asked them about the construction on Back Beach Road because I've been getting a lot of complaints on some of the intersections and stuff, and I think they're going to be getting back up with you, Drew, I know they're doing a lot of the work at night, but we sure need them to, especially Nautilus intersection, get that completed before we get into the summer good. So especially the turn lanes going on to Philip Griffiths Parkway there. So hopefully they'll, Mr. Bryant will be getting in touch with you, Drew, about that. So hopefully we can prod them a little bit to finish those turn lanes and the main intersections anyhow, because we're getting into the busy time of our year. And so anyhow, hopefully they can speed it up a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
Vice Mayor?
Nope, I got nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
No.
Just a reminder about the mural at the Frank Brown Community Center. This is part of our celebration for America 250. So come put your mark on the mural. It's paint by numbers. It's pretty easy. I got to do it just a few days ago. And also thank you everyone for a safe Memorial Day. Thanks to the VFW for hosting and for their quick movement for their Memorial Day ceremony. And other than that, let's see, I will see everyone Thursday, November 11th at 5 p.m. here at City Hall for the next City Council meeting. Have a blessed day. This meeting is adjourned.